Hi, if you're just getting your feet wet in the mechanical keyboard hobby and you're looking for a bang for a buck budget mechanical keyboard that has a number pad built in for work demands, then you might want to check out the RK96. I would have to admit I have developed an affinity to the Royal Kludge keyboards because I've used the RK61, the RK71 here, and the RK100. One side note, as I was looking at other keyboard options, I noticed that some people are making content about the RK96, but they were saying that it comes only in the blue backlight. But this is a pattern of behavior for the Royal Kludge brand. They usually come up with a new keyboard and they sell it with only white or blue backlight. And after a few weeks, they come up with the RGB versions for it. I'm no expert, but that's what I noticed because when I got sent the RK71 for review, a few weeks later, some sites were offering the RGB versions instead, and that's something that I also noticed with the RK96. If you pull the trigger and buy an RK96 for yourself, it will arrive in an orange and black box. This is the traditional packaging for Royal Kludge keyboards. Out of the box, you have your unit and the manual. It also comes with a wrist rest that is designed specifically for your RK96. Package also comes with a 2-in-1 key cap and switch puller, a USB-A to USB-C cable for connectivity, and it also has extra switches for when you mess up and bend or cut off one of your switches or a few of them while doing your mods. If you're wondering why I have blue switches here, it's because I purchased the blue switch version. This is because my roommate is very passionate about defending her blue switches. Not until today when I finally was able to convince her to use my RK100 with brown switches instead. So RIP blue switches will be hidden somewhere where the sun doesn't shine. While I love how the RK100 squeezed all the keys together to save on space, I would say that the RK96 with a little bit of spacing between the shift key and the arrow keys and the number pad gives me a little bit of relief when actually using the keyboard. Here's a sound test of the RK96 with blue switches. I would say that just like the RK100, the stabs are pretty decent, especially considering the price. So I'm not gonna make any other upgrades except maybe adding a tempest tape mod. That is because this keyboard already comes with a little bit of foam on the inside and on the gap between the PCB and the tray. But before I give you a fair insight, I would have to switch up the switches and the keycaps because the blue switches just don't do it for me. So I'm gonna use the Acco Silver custom switches for this one, and I'm also gonna use the Acco Retro Carbon keycaps right here, and then we'll check out how it sounds. After testing out the keyboard, I would say that I am really happy about how it turned out. The look is actually giving me vintage vibes, especially now that I'm seeing it with the white frame. Because when I bought this keycap set, it was meant for my black RK100. Now that I'm using it, I really like the vintage feel that it's giving me. All in all, I would say I'm not regretting my decision to buy the RK96 instead of the GMMK keyboard, especially with the use of the volume knob and the mute button. However, I would have to admit that it kind of feels a little bit cheap to the touch, both the dial and the mute keys, but it's something that other keyboards don't have. So function-wise, I would say it's worth it. I also like how it has a USB pass-through. It's something I really use, especially when switching over to maybe using my work laptop instead of my gaming one. I can't help but compare the RK96 with my RK100 because I really loved that keyboard. I actually thought it was my forever keyboard. But one key difference between the two is that because of the wrist rest, the indicator lights are no longer located in the front of the keyboard but are on top. However, this indicator lights for number lock, caps lock, lock, and battery are not really visible when you're using your keyboard. This is because of the keycaps that are actually blocking the user's view. So in order to see it, you have to kind of lean forward like this just to see if your indicator lights are on. Comparing it to the RK100 as well, we are losing 4 keys. We don't have the home button, the end button, and the page up and page down. I kind of miss the page up and page down buttons because it's something I use when I am playing around with my spreadsheets for work. To get around this problem, you can turn off your number lock and use the keys 9 and 3 as an alternative to your page up and page down buttons. But the extra key press is just something I would have to get used to. Would I recommend the RK96? The answer is yes, if it is for people who are like me, who need a number pad in our lives. I think it's also a great mix between the fun vibe for gamers and for RGB loving individuals, and for those who buy a keyboard just for the sole purpose of productivity or having a little bit more tactility when working. And just like my previous Royal Kludge keyboards, I would say it's a pretty solid bang for buck unit. Some people may not agree with me, but if you were to ask me, I would say buy a budget keyboard like this and then splurge a little bit on your switches and keycaps to make all the difference in the world. I think that's a better route to go instead of buying a higher end bare bones kit and then scrimping on your switches and your keycaps. But that's just my take. And I'm no expert at this. Anyway, I hope this video added some value for you. If you like the video, give me a like, hit the notification bell, and subscribe if you want more videos like this, and feel free to engage in the comment section. I'm Coach Abby at Tech, Technique, Skills, and Software, and I'll see you in our next video.